Right now, protests turn violent. We're tracking late-breaking details out of Minneapolis, where buildings sit burning and damaged this morning.
Plus, we're looking at the most heavily impacted area in Wisconsin for unemployment right now. How officials in that area...
This is News 3 Now.
And a former law professor.
We've seen this happen.
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, May 28th. I'm Josh Sprider with Lee Linscheid and Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. We're continuing to keep an eye on breaking news out of Minneapolis this morning. Protests carried into the night there and across the country, calling for action to be taken against the police officers involved in the death of George Floyd. There were also several reports of looting. This is brand new video just into the newsroom this morning of the aftermath at the Target store. You can see smoke in the air and nearly empty shelves. Those protests in Minneapolis escalated overnight. Police used tear gas and rubber bullets in an attempt to keep the protesters at bay. Fires broke out across the city and several buildings were damaged or looted. Police say one person was shot and later died, and they do have another person in custody. A spokesperson for the Minneapolis Police Department says these protests were not like what they saw yesterday.
The night before, we started out with about 8,000 protesters at 38th and Chicago, and they were great. They were chanting for things to remain peaceful. Tonight didn't have that same feel.
Protesters are gathering across the country to join in the call for justice. Groups in Memphis and Los Angeles have demonstrated their support. The LA protest also took a violent turn when some of the nearly 1,000 protesters rushed a police cruiser, causing damage. Breaking locally overnight, Madison police are investigating reports of shots fired. Police arrived at Gene Parks Place near the Dane County Boys and Girls Club just before 9 last night. This after getting multiple calls about gunshots in the area. Officers found several shell casings in the street when they got to the scene. Right now, police say there are no injuries or property damage being reported. That investigation is ongoing.
Well, the Janesville-Beloit metro area ranks highest right now for Wisconsin unemployment at 17%. Leaders say the unemployment is primarily in healthcare, manufacturing, and retail. But add the 17% rate is for the month of April prior to the county reopening. On Monday, Janesville City Council announced that they'd be freeing up $100,000 in grants for small businesses.
Janesville's really resilient. And so, I have high hopes that we're going to get through this and we're going to be fine in the end. But we all have to work together to do that.
The city council president there says the best way for people to help is by continuing to support local businesses.
At the state capitol, legislators are looking for who's to blame for the backlog of unprocessed unemployment claims. Republican legislators accused the secretary for the Department of Workforce Development of not being prepared for the surge in applications and not reacting quickly enough. Caleb Frostman says his agency has been working to speed the processing of claims. He also said their computer system is outdated and the sheer volume of calls is just too difficult to stay on top of. Happening today, the Labor Department will release its latest jobs report. It's expected that around 2.1 million Americans filed for unemployment in this past week. That would be a slight reduction from last week's 2.4 million. So far, more than 38 million Americans have filed since the pandemic began.
A new government aid grant program will hand out $200 million. It'll go to help local governments across the state recover from COVID-19. Governor Evers announced that program yesterday. Governments will get money based on their population. They'll get at least $5,000 from the grant regardless of size. And places like malls are starting to welcome guests back with a number of safety changes. East and West Town are now open with about 24 retailers in each, and they're expected to open some more stores in the coming days. Management staff, they're going to have to wear masks. Large gatherings will be prohibited. The malls are adding hand sanitizer stations. They're increasing sanitation in high-touch areas and cleaning spots people tend to congregate, like food court seating areas and children's play areas.
We definitely understand that people have concerns coming back into large public spaces like a shopping mall. So we've been planning for our reopening basically since the mall closed. We wanted to make sure that we had all of the guidelines that the local health department was going to put into place.
Yeah, it's really been a tough few months for local businesses, but even tougher times for those frontline workers who consistently risk their lives to save others.
A local bakery owner is now recognizing their efforts in a really big way. Christina Laurie joins us with a story to make you smile this morning. Hi, Christina.
I certainly hope it will. Hi. Chris and Leah. Michelle Clausen, owner of the namesake Middleton Bakery, started May with a huge goal in mind: to donate and deliver 10,000 morning buns to emergency workers by the end of the month. She's expected to hit that goal later today. Michelle is calling the mission Honoring Community Heroes. She's been organizing drop-offs of Clausen's fresh baked treats to a number of hospitals, clinics, police departments, fire stations, and other emergency services around the county. This afternoon, she's dropping off 1,500 morning buns for workers at UW Hospital, her second delivery of that size in just the past week. We caught up with Clausen's bakery team yesterday morning as they were making those morning buns to give out for free to healthcare employees at their Middleton location. Healthcare workers can also pick up a free loaf of bread right now. Michelle says that early on during this pandemic, she decided the best way to support her employees, along with those in the community, is by continuing to put in the hours to make products to distribute to people working on the front lines.
We went from closing down completely to opening up to delivering in grocery stores, and every single day is a challenge, and that's kind of fun in a way.
Good attitude. Michelle says it's been humbling to hear stories from frontline workers that she's delivered to, and she's thankful she can give back to people who are giving so much.
It just kind of breaks us out of our shell, and it does make you feel good. Everyone has their own reality with COVID-19.
A reminder that all first responders and healthcare employees can pick up a free loaf of bread and free morning buns at Clausen's through the end of the month. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll share 3 ways you can help make a difference in their lives and the lives of people living right here in your own community. Chris and Leah.
Clausen's is a community staple, so if you haven't had a morning bun from there, you got to get over there.
So good. Thanks, Christina.
6:06 right now. Hattie's here, and Hattie, I think it's a good day to have that morning bun inside. Another gloomy start out there.
So yeah, so cloudy outside this morning. Here's a look from the WICTV sky camera. I've moved the camera to the south, trying to catch some of that rain moving up. Not raining here just yet, but it will be shortly. Take a look at Weather Track. This is the big picture. We're still on the warm and humid side of this particular storm system. Temperatures are near 70 this morning. Dew points are in the 60s, mid 60s at that, so it feels very sticky outside. Behind this cold front, cooler air awaits and lower humidity. So we do have some improving conditions in our forecast. Now, rain is in the forecast through most of the day today, but the severe weather outlook pretty quiet here across southern Wisconsin. No severe weather is expected. Our main threat today will be the potential for some heavy rain. This cold front is going to move very slowly across the region. We could see some heavy rain just raining. That means those showers and thunderstorms moving across the same areas for several hours. Now, right now, the rain has been west of Madison, but you can see some showers pushing up from the south. Also some rain further back to the north and west. It's a pretty wet start in La Crosse this morning. A flash flood watch has been issued. It's in effect right now until 3 o'clock for southwestern Wisconsin due to the potential for that heavy rain. And again, here's the rainfall potential through the day today. We are talking several inches, maybe more than 2 inches possible for parts of southwestern Wisconsin. Could be a band of heavier rain, definitely 1 to 2 inches from just west of Madison all the way up to Fond du Lac. So a lot of rain in our forecast today. Future Track will show you when exactly that rain is going to end, and expect just a very wet morning across the area. By lunchtime, still some pretty heavy rain in and around southern Wisconsin, but things starting to improve later on this afternoon. By 5, drying out north and west of the Dells. As that front continues to work its way through the region, we will start to clear out by tonight. By 11 o'clock, all of the rain will have come to an end. Our forecast then calls for a cooler night tonight. As the humidity drops, temperatures will fall as well. We'll drop into the 50s by tomorrow morning. It'll be a little breezy tomorrow, but not a bad day at all, with sunshine and high temperatures in the upper 60s. We'll keep those comfortable conditions right through the upcoming weekend.
Perfect Wisconsin summer weekend. Thank you very much, Hattie. 6:08 now. A beloved member of the Baraboo School District is dealing with her 5th cancer diagnosis, and that community wants to help. We told you back in November about Grandma Betty. She was beyond retirement age when she took a teaching job at the middle school there. After retirement, she missed her students, so she started to spend most weekdays at the high school, supervising the cafeteria and handing out her own baked goods. After surviving breast cancer, Grandma Betty was diagnosed with bladder cancer just yesterday.
She's truly that one that will care for everybody here at the school. She puts herself last and everybody else in this building, staff, students included, in front of herself. She's probably one of the most selfless persons or people that I've ever met in my life.
Pretty incredible woman with a great reputation there. If you'd like to help her, there is a GoFundMe page to help Grandma Betty pay for her medical bills. We have it up right now on channel3000.com.
Just about 10 minutes past the hour right now. Quick look at traffic as you head out. Other than a few rain showers, you shouldn't have any issues out there. It's just a couple of slowdowns on East Washington Avenue and Highway 51 just north of there. If you're hopping on the Beltline, you shouldn't have any issues as well. Just a couple of slowdowns from the interstate to Stoughton Road. You can see some of that rain falling as we speak. Well, coming up, President Trump could be cracking down on social media sites. We'll tell you what we know about an executive order he'll announce later today.
And pack your bags. As more countries open up their borders, we're telling you which spot is willing to pay for your vacation to get you to their shores.
That's coming up when News 3 Now this morning returns.
Herzing University's Everywhere Classroom. You can earn a degree in today's hottest fields, anywhere, anytime. Take an online course free and get comfortable with online learning. I'm possible at Herzing. Learn more today.
From our family to yours, we want to encourage you to keep going. Keep protecting what's most important. Keep hopeful in the face of all this. Keep believing. Keep being strong. Keep supporting the people on the front line. Keep staying together while staying apart. Keep being fearless. And most of all, keep dreaming. American Family Insurance is mailing our personal auto insurance customers a premium relief payment to help them keep going. We'll keep being here when you need us.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection remains open to serve our customers and communities during these times of uncertainty. We've got you covered for all your plumbing service needs. Call us for help. We are here for you.
For almost 50 years, we've built trust within our communities by making customer delight our top priority. That trust allows us to improve lives one home at a time. During this challenging time, we want to make sure your needs are being met without stress by offering 2-for-1 windows with no interest and no payments for 1 year. So go ahead, visit us online, or call now from the comfort of home.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
We can't offer much during this time of crisis, but we can offer what we have. So from all of us working early mornings on the farm, long days in the plant, or late nights stocking shelves, doing all we can to get you the milk you need. We hope it makes your breakfast a little brighter, your snacks more nutritious, and reminds you when it comes to caring, there is no expiration date. Milk. Love what's real.
At Machinery Road Bicycles, you'll find Wisconsin's largest selection of cycling apparel, shoes, and helmets from Perla Izumi, Castelli, Trek, Gore, Showers Pass, Terry, Bell, and Giro. There's no such thing as bad weather, just unsuitable clothing. At Machinery Road Bicycles, you'll find cycling apparel for all seasons, whether you're trying to beat the heat or stay warm and dry. Lots of great bargains. From commuting to triathlon, from quality basics to the gear the pros wear, and everything in between. The most beautiful bicycle store in the world, Machinery Road Bicycles, has you covered.
It's time to freshen up around your yard. This year, don't struggle with bulky bags of mulch. Call JR.
JR's mulch sales, spread it around.
To the thousands of Herzing University nursing and healthcare alumni, for your tireless commitment, and to all of your brave colleagues across America, we say thank you.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Go to Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
Welcome back at 6:13. We're keeping an eye on some breaking news this morning. Where protests and violence have continued through the night, there's been a heavy police presence all morning after several fires and cases of looting were reported across the city of Minneapolis. At least one person was shot and killed during that violence overnight. We'll be keeping you updated on that developing story. We're also keeping an eye on the president's Twitter feed this morning as members of his administration say he is preparing an executive order that will reduce protection for social media companies. The New York Times says the order would limit the legal protections currently guarding social media outlets outlets from liability for what gets posted on their platform. This would make it easier for prosecutors to argue that platforms are limiting free speech by removing posts or banning users. The president is expected to sign the order as soon as today, but it is expected to be challenged in court. This comes after Twitter placed a fact-check label to two of the president's tweets about mail-in ballots. Twitter says it did this because it wanted to enforce its civic integrity policy because it felt those tweets could confuse voters about what they needed to receive a ballot and participate in the election process.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is asking all Americans now to wear face masks when they go out. According to Politico, McConnell's message is targeted mainly to younger Americans. He's assuring there is no stigma attached to wearing one and that it is in fact a responsibility to wear one. McConnell's comments come after photos and videos over the weekend showed large crowds ignoring social distancing guidelines during Memorial Day celebrations.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's optimistic that a coronavirus vaccine will be ready by the end of the year. Fauci says there are a lot of variables when it comes to creating a vaccination, but the development is making good strides. He says it could be ready as soon as November. The World Health Organization says there are currently 10 vaccines in human clinical trials.
6:15, Hattie's out on the Hattio patio this morning, and I can hear some raindrops.
Yes, some light rain coming down right now here on the west side of town. You'll want to keep that umbrella close by if you have to be outside today. It's going to be pretty wet here across southern Wisconsin. You can see that rain lifting from south to north and increasing in coverage across the region. I would expect these showers to become more numerous and even pick up in intensity a little bit as we head through the morning. There is the potential for some heavy rain. Probability of precipitation is high, near 100% as we go through the morning into the afternoon. Later on this afternoon into this evening, though, we'll start to see some drier air work into the area from the north and west. Our temperatures right around 70 here in Madison, 68 in Platteville, 70 still in Janesville. Your day planner temperatures kind of buggy downtown. We're looking at temps not going too far today, but those rain chances continuing. Again, you may hear some rumbles of thunder, but no severe weather is expected. Our main threat is the heavy rain. Coming up in just a few minutes, though, we'll talk about lower humidity in the upcoming forecast.
The sound of that. Thanks, Hattie. The Oakland A's say their minor league players will not receive another paycheck until April 2021. The team, along with the rest of Major League Baseball, originally agreed to pay all minor leaguers $400 a week until May 31st. As that date approaches, the A's say this will be the last one, though they'll continue to subsidize the players' health insurance. An email from the team's general manager tells the players that they are very sorry to have made this difficult decision. According to Sports Illustrated, the cost of continuing to pay the players until the end of the regular scheduled season would have been a little more than $1 million.
As stimulus checks continue to go out, the Federal Trade Commission is warning of phishing scams that are targeting your college kid. The Hill is reporting on an email scam that claims to be a notification from a student's university with a link to check on their stimulus money. If your student clicks that link, the scammers will be able to access their personal information. A reminder, if your student or if you get an email like this, do not click the link. Nearly 7,000 Boeing workers are out of the job this morning, and that number is expected to grow. The aircraft maker is looking to cut 16,000 jobs total. The layoffs come as Boeing looks to cut back production for the next few years. A spokesperson for the company says around 5,500 employees did accept a voluntary buyout package.
Several countries are currently working on plans to let tourists know that they're back open for business. And listen to this, in Japan, that might include helping pay for your vacation. The Japanese government is hoping subsidies might help kickstart tourism. So they're going to provide allotments for nearly $200 a day to help cover the cost of the trip. According to Japan Today, the money will be distributed through a combination of discounts and vouchers. The policy is expected to take effect in late July and will be available to anyone who books through a Japanese travel agency or hotel. And the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, also doing something similar. A bit of a financial aid package here for tourists. They say they're going to cover the cost of dining, accommodations, and medical costs if you test positive for the coronavirus while you're traveling there. Cyprus is marketing itself as a safe destination during the pandemic. According to French news outlets, the island is claiming to have the lowest infection rate in all of Europe. Now, this comes as President Trump says that we are nearing the end of our country's travel restrictions. He says those bans will only be lifted once his administration sees the countries have made progress toward fighting the virus, and he says he does see good progress being made. Currently, foreign nationals with recent travel within 29 countries are barred from entry. All but 3 of those countries are in Europe.
As for tourism here in the U.S., Disney World is officially moving forward with reopening. The theme park plans to begin a phased reopening on July 11th for its Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom parks. Then, 4 days later, Epcot and Hollywood Studios will open. Workers and guests will be required to wear face coverings and undergo temperature screenings before they enter the parks. Disney will also reduce capacity, and the resort will temporarily suspend parades, fireworks, or any other events that draw crowds. SeaWorld, meanwhile, plans to open a month earlier on June 11th. SeaWorld Orlando, Aquatica Orlando, and Discovery Cove will open to workers the day before for an Employee Appreciation Day. Those parks will also have temperature checks, hand sanitizer stations, and mask requirements. And back in Madison, the Henry Vilas Zoo is preparing to welcome visitors again. They hope to be open by mid-June and no later than July 1st. They're adding a one-way path through the grounds and increased disinfection of common areas. Most buildings are going to stay closed, except for bathrooms and concession stands. Those will reopen. The zoo is also limiting the number of guests between 500 and 800.
Looking forward to that. All right, 6:20 right now. Still ahead, how sports venues are trying to make things seem a little less empty without fans in the stands.
And coming up in the next half hour, the Wisconsin Election Commission is moving forward with sending out absentee ballot applications. What could keep you from getting yours?
We're so glad you're joining us for News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back after a quick break.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
Green Tag is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere 3 Family Series tractor. Get 0% for 84 months or $270 per month on a John Deere 3033R with loader. Who says a day's work has to take all day?
The way you get through hard times is to hold strong to your values. At Group Health Cooperative, our common values have sustained us for over 4 decades. Now is no different. We are here in our clinics, but we want you to be safer at home. That's why GHC has more ways for you to get care anywhere, anytime, day or night. Be seen, be safe, be home. We will get through this together, and we will all get better together.
Rogan's Shoes retail stores are now open. When you visit Rogan's, we'll be practicing good social distancing for the protection of all customers and employees. If you would like to limit contact and have curbside pickup, just call your local store to set it up. If you prefer to shop online, Rogan's Shoes would like to remind you our website is open and we are still offering free shipping. Rogan's wants to help by providing you the best solution possible for your family. Selection, service, and savings. That's Rogan's.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
Slumberland's huge memorial sale is almost over. Don't miss out on hundreds of incredible markdowns, like a power recliner for just $396, a Sealy Queen mattress marked way down to $598, our best-selling Adirondack chairs for just $188, our lowest price ever. If you've been waiting for our very best deals, this is it. And get free no-contact shipping with no minimum. But it all ends Sunday the 31st, so don't miss it. The memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
Against all enemies. That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me. So help me God.
Medical bills, missed time at work, life-changing injuries, household expenses. When you're the victim of an accident, it can feel like the weight of the entire world is on your shoulders. But we've dedicated our personal injury law firm to help take this crippling burden off your back. Habush, Habush & Rotier. We fight for what's right.
Green Tag is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere 3 Family Series tractor. Get 0% for 84 months or $270 per month on a John Deere 3033R with loader. Who says a day's work has to take all day? Powered up with Sloan.
6:24 on your Thursday. Check out this My Morning picture. Lynn sent this in. Some beautiful coloring there, guys.
Boy, we are so spoiled in this part of the state, in this part of the country. We always have beautiful sunrises.
That was decent.
Just soak that up because we have nothing like that today.
I know, yeah, but at least those sunrises are becoming earlier and earlier in the morning, which has been nice. Longer days.
Big fan of that. Big fan of that, Josh.
So what does your morning look like? All you have to do is send us a picture with the hashtag MyNews3Morning over on social media, and we'll share them around this time every morning.
Okay, so large crowds may be a thing of the past for sports events, at least temporarily.
But some sports venues are testing out new ways to keep the audience experience without an audience. Check this out. They're using a new app that allows fans to send in their support from home. Viewers can tap on applause, cheers, and even boos. The sounds will then be broadcast through the speakers in the stadium. This app is being tested at soccer stadiums in Japan right now. Meanwhile, broadcasters here in the U.S. say they do expect TV productions of NFL games to include artificial fan noise.
So I've been thinking a lot about this morning.
Oh, have you?
I have. There's going to be a delay in the reaction. There's no way you can get an instant reaction to like a big play. The cheers or the boos, the oohs and the ahs. It's going to take at least a couple of seconds, right, for it to get pumped through the speakers in the stadium.
Well, this is a big job for the person who pushes the button. He's probably sitting there ready. What if he accidentally hits boo?
The whole point is, like, the fans have the app on their phone while they're watching, and then they press the reaction to what happens.
Oh.
So there's, you know, I know technology and everything's great these days, but still, like, I think that it's just not going to be the same. There's going to be some touchdown catch, and then 4 seconds later, you're going to hear the
This will be interesting. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
All right. Sorry, Hattie, we cut you out of time. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hey guys, it's Luke here, and I just want to send out even more support to all of our farmers out there.
I'm sure you've all seen in the recent news, but dairy farmers are under fire.
They're still working to make sure communities have fresh, nutritious food to keep us healthy during these uncertain times.
I'm married a Wisconsin girl, so you know we love our cheese curds. So make sure you support Wisconsin, America's dairy land, and all the dairy farmers there.
We're back.
When you can't dine in, then get it to go and support our restaurants during Madison Magazine's Restaurant Week to Go. 2 weeks of fabulous to-go menus you'll love. Visit MadisonMagazine.com for details and menus. Restaurant Week to Go, presented by Kesnick's. Food service design, equipment, and supplies.
I guess there is still cleanup to do.
Calling all grassmasters, fescue fanatics, and stewards of St. Augustine. To the springtime sprawlers, backyard scholars, and cultivators of the cul-de-sac. Whether you're a rookie or a pro, run with us. For all the green thumbers, newcomers, and toy picker-uppers, run with us on a John Deere mower. Because this is more than just grass. It's home. Nothing runs like a deer.
Get your John Deere now at the Power Centers of Madison.
TSR Concrete Coatings is the nation's largest residential concrete coating company, proudly serving homeowners throughout Wisconsin. Our coatings are 4 times stronger than regular epoxy and won't chip, crack, or peel. They're impact resistant and UV stable. Our unique process begins with a base coat to seal cracks and level the surface, then flakes in the color pattern of your choice. A top coat is applied for a durable finished floor that can be installed in as little as 1 day. Act now to save 15% on your concrete coating project. Ask about 12-month same-as-cash financing. TSR Nation is growing by the day with satisfied customers throughout Wisconsin, and we want you to be a part of it. As a special bonus, call during this program and receive a free TSR swag pack with your concrete coating project.
Call 1-800-886-8411. That's 1-800-886-8411.
Every day, our doctors and nurses, our cooks, housekeepers, therapists, and every member of your healthcare team give the most of themselves to care for you, to care for our community. These are your champions of health.
Right now, a city in shambles. One person is dead after being shot near protests and looting overnight. We'll have the late-breaking details about another night of protests in Minneapolis.
And heavy rain is in the forecast today with potential for a little bit of flooding across southern Wisconsin. All of the details in just a few minutes.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Breaking news, Minneapolis police are investigating a shooting death after a body was found near active protests in Minneapolis. A police spokesperson says officers responded to a neighborhood where there were several reports of looting and active fires being set. This is brand new video just into the newsroom this morning of some of those fires. We do know that a suspect is in custody and witnesses are declining to cooperate with investigators. Police say they're looking into whether the homicide is related to a report of a pawn shop owner shooting a looter. Thanks for joining us. We're coming off of the second night in a row of violent protests in Minneapolis. As you can see, several buildings were set on fire, broken into, and damaged in these demonstrations. These videos were posted on Twitter overnight. Folks there and around the country are expressing their anger over the death of George Floyd. A viral video showing an officer kneeling on Floyd's neck for several minutes during an attempted arrest on Monday night. In that video, he could be heard screaming, "I can't breathe." He died shortly after. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz tweeted overnight asking everyone to leave the area since the situation became extremely dangerous. He's called for a full and fair investigation into Floyd's death and has asked protesters to demonstrate peacefully. At the governor's request, the National Guard will be sent to help manage the aftermath of the overnight protests. New this morning, the University of Minnesota is announcing plans to cut ties with the Minneapolis Police Department. The university's president says they won't make any contracts with the department for additional officer support at large events. These include football games, concerts, and other ceremonies. They'll also no longer use the department for any specialized services like K-9 explosive detection units. They'll only work with the MPD for investigations that directly enhance the safety of at-risk students, faculty, and staff.
The video of the officer kneeling on Floyd's neck is resonating with local leaders in Dane County as well.
The president of the Boys and Girls Club posted on Facebook and asked every local police chief to publicly condemn the Minneapolis officers' actions, and they've agreed.
When these things continue to happen time and time and time again, it further divides our community, and we just got to do better.
Michael Johnson there says he wants to give people in our community some assurance that our officers would never allow for something like this to happen here. Local law enforcement agencies will host a public town hall. It's on the Madison 365 Facebook page. It's going to happen in just a couple of hours to address this very topic. It starts at 10:30 this morning. Again, that's the Madison 365 Facebook page.
Local breaking news overnight. Fitchburg police say they're looking for a person who shot at an occupied parked car several times. It happened just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Anton Drive. That's off of Verona Road. Police say a car with at least one person in it was in an apartment complex's parking lot when it happened. While the targeted car drove away, it hit several other parked cars in that lot. Fitchburg police say no arrests have been made, but there's no threat to the public.
To news on the coronavirus now. We're hoping for better news this morning after seeing Dane County's largest single-day increase in cases since March. We've seen 25 new cases in the past day. Despite those numbers, the metrics for reopening haven't shifted. You're taking a look at them now. These need to stay exactly how they are or improve in order for Dane County to move on to phase 2 of their reopening plan. The soonest that can happen is June 9th. Statewide, there are currently more than 16,000 cases. 37% of those cases are still active.
More than 2.7 million registered voters across the state will be getting an absentee ballot application. The Wisconsin Elections Commission unanimously approved this proposal ahead of the November election. People who already requested an absentee ballot or have moved and haven't confirmed their new address will get one. The commission now needs to approve the language for the mailing. They'll do that at their meeting coming up here on June 10th. And new this morning, the Texas Supreme Court says a lack of immunity to the coronavirus is not enough for someone to qualify for an absentee ballot. The court ruled being vulnerable to the virus doesn't count as a disability, so it doesn't fit within the state's election code. Texas law requires voters younger than 65 to give a reason when applying for a mail-in ballot. A disability is considered to be a sickness or physical condition preventing someone from going to the polls on Election Day.
We should know Joe Biden's vice presidential pick by August. Right now, Biden says his VP vetting committee is in the process of seeing if prospective running mates want the job. Biden's already said he will have a woman on his ticket. He says the women he's considering are from every part of the country and do include women of color.
Just about 6:35 on this Thursday. We just got to get through one more day of rainfall, but some people under a flash flood watch this morning.
Yeah, you're right. There could be some pretty heavy rain across southern Wisconsin, especially the southwestern corner of the state. That's where a flash flood watch is in effect. Heavy rain over the last couple of weeks, leading to high levels of water in the area, and then an abundance of water again today. So that flash flood watch in effect until 3 p.m. Here's a look at precipitation potential. There could be a pretty heavy band of precipitation setting up from southern parts of Grant County through Dane County up towards Green Bay this afternoon. And we could see in excess of 2 to maybe 3 inches of rain in some isolated spots. The storm system responsible for all this moisture is going to be a very slow-moving system. Here we're looking at the rain that we have currently falling. Again, it's wet in and around Madison through the Wisconsin River Valley. It's been wet this morning, and then off to the north and west. The back edge of the precipitation slowly working its way through northwestern Wisconsin. You see some flashes of lightning occurring there. No severe weather is expected today, but take a look at the very slow movement of this line. Eventually, it's going to work its way towards the east, but not making a lot of progress this morning. So we're talking rain falling over the same spot for a long period of time. Weather Track is showing you that this cold front is responsible for all that rain across central Wisconsin this morning. Nearly stationary right now, but eventually it's going to move off to the east today. Here's a closer look at how we can expect those rain showers to evolve here in southern Wisconsin. Activity mainly to the west and northwest this morning, but it will increase in coverage as we go through the morning hours. That line or the back edge working its way through the area by midday today, but again, it's a slow mover, so we may still see some rain here in Madison at 5. Areas north and west of Dane County may be drying out at that time. We'll all start to dry out tonight, and by 10 or 11 o'clock, all of that rain will have moved out of the region. Take a look at our temperatures. It's going to be much cooler overnight tonight, maybe a little easier for you to sleep as temperatures drop back into the 50s. Lots of sunshine for the upcoming weekend, less humidity, and comfortable temperatures. We'll be in the upper 60s each day.
Yeah, weekend looks great. Thanks, Hattie. A new survey out this morning shows there are big learning gaps for low-income and special needs students now that classes are primarily online. Advocacy groups, including Parents Together, found 4 out of 10 of the poorest students in the U.S. are logging on as little as once a week or less. Now compare that to kids whose parents make $100,000 or more a year. 83% of those kids are doing virtual learning every day. 32% of the lowest income families say their students either don't have a device or have to share it with siblings. They're also twice as likely to say remote learning is going poorly to very poorly.
So here's some good news on your Thursday. Bakery owner Michelle Clausen is getting ready to hit a milestone later today. She's donating her 10,000th morning bun to local first responders, and that's just this month.
Yeah, and if you haven't had one, they are delicious too. She's not alone in wanting to give back to people in need. Christina Laurie joins us now with 3 ways you can help.
Hi, Chris and Leah. It's normal to feel a little down right now, and science has proven doing something good for other people is a great way to boost your own mood. Right now in Madison, giving back is as easy as ever. Second Harvest is looking for volunteers to pack its care boxes. The food bank has seen a surge in demand for its services during the pandemic and has opened up more shifts to pack food care boxes for hungry families. I put a link on our website where you can sign up. You can also donate to Kessenek's SOS Save Our Staff Fund. The fund raises money to help Madison workers who've had their hours cut. The money raised is given to servers, bartenders, and back-of-the-house employees who normally depend on tips for the majority of their income. I put a link to that GoFundMe page on our website as well. Something you can do that doesn't require a lot of time or money is to write a simple thank you note to a first responder. Doctors and nurses at the UW and SSM Health St. Mary's hospitals here in Madison are working more than 12-hour shifts treating COVID patients. Highland Avenue is the mailing address for UW Hospital, and Park Street is the mailing address for SSM. If you're looking for even more ways to volunteer, both in person and remotely, head to volunteermatch.org and type in your zip code. You can search for local volunteer opportunities, and I think after this I'm going to sign up myself. We all have about an hour we can contribute a week. Right, Chris and Leah?
You know, we don't have an excuse. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah, it's true. An hour a week is very doable.
We can handle that. Christina, thank you very much. 6:39 now. UW-Madison is announcing its winners for their 10th annual Cool Science Image Contest.
So we dug through some of these incredible images and picked some of the favorites. First up, a stalagmite.
Ooh.
So this one here is 250,000 years old. It's the oldest of its kind in the Midwest. Researchers use it to study the climate of ancient mid-continental North America. It was taken by grad student Cameron Batchelor and Ethan Parrish.
We make them good in the Midwest, don't we?
That's beautiful.
That is cool. Next up, take a look at this, guys. This picture was taken by grad student Robert Morgan and assistant professor Keith Bechtel. The picture of the sky shows thousands of faraway galaxies, each of them having billions of stars. These galaxies are all billions of light years away, of course, and are harder to see than nearby objects like that big blue dot on your screen. That is the Helix Nebula.
I'd hang this one up in my house. That's really neat.
That is cool.
And finally, we have this little guy. This is a crested gecko. Did everybody just hear the sound effects from Chris?
That wasn't me, right?
Oh, yeah, okay. He's actually using his tongue to clean his eyelid, which you can't see because it's see-through. They're able to see in the dark and climb up vertical surfaces. A nice little science lesson here.
That's a great photo.
Nisha Iyer took this picture.
Way to go, Nisha.
Very cool.
Something else. Yeah, very cool. All right, 6:41 right now. Quick look at traffic across Dane County and Rock County this morning. You shouldn't come across too many issues. If you do come across that rain shower, you might have a couple of slowdowns, but no crashes to report. Let's take a live look outside on this Thursday morning. Another humid start.
Minneapolis Fire had some trouble getting to it.
Just here. We'll have more on that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
And peanut butter and apples, not your typical prom meal, right? But for one couple, it was just right. We'll tell you about the prom date of a lifetime. That's coming up next on News 3 Now this morning.
MG&E, building your community energy company for the future through the power of working together. Committed to cleaner, more sustainable energy, driven by innovation, fostered by shared values. Visit MGE2050.com.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's Memorial Week sale going on now. Get top name brands for every room in your house at guaranteed lowest prices. With Lazy Boy recliners from $3.99 and always free delivery. Come join us at Portage Furniture for a Memorial Week sale.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At Shopko Optical, your eyes are everything to us too. Which is why we offer everything to help you see better and to look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're Shopko Optical. You'll see.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Right now, Toyota is offering 0% financing for 60 months on 8 of our most popular Toyotas, like Camry, RAV4, and Tacoma. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home. Many Toyota service centers are open to help keep your vehicle in top shape and may even offer no-contact vehicle drop-off.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? A cool breeze on a scorching day, a cozy corner on a cold night, or knowing every room of the house is as inviting as the next. Comfort means more than just the temperature, and the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable, like cool cash rebates of up to $1,650. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Call us at Arts Electric and Heating.
In the Richland Center area, call Ash Creek Plumbing and Heating.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's Memorial Week sale going on now. Get top name brands for every room in your house at guaranteed lowest prices with custom sofas from $6.99 and always free delivery. Come join us at Portage Furniture for our Memorial Week sale.
MG&E, building your community energy company for the future through the power of working together. Committed to cleaner, more sustainable energy, driven by innovation, fostered by shared values. Visit MGE2050.com.
On the next Live at 4, Dr. Zorba Pastor takes your COVID-19 questions live.
And we'll get behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs in the 2020 Mazda CX-9. He says this one is a winner.
Connect with News 3 Now on Facebook Messenger to create a personalized news feed just for you. The topics you want, the day's top stories, and push alerts for breaking news, all through Messenger. Learn more at channel3000.com.
Well, your senior prom is a night to remember, and unfortunately, most high school seniors won't get to experience theirs this year.
But one teenager got a special event thrown just for her, and it was all organized by the 7-year-old boy she babysits. Curtis Rogers hadn't seen his nanny Rachel in 2 months because of the coronavirus pandemic. When he found out she couldn't go to her prom, he wanted to throw one just for her.
I planned it out because Rachel probably wanted to see me a lot, and she also is one of the best people I've known.
How about that honesty? Curtis's mom says he was really excited to make sure everything was just perfect. He got his suit on, picked out a bow tie to match Rachel's dress, and wanted to make sure he could impress his date. Curtis served up their favorite after-school snack as an appetizer, peanut butter and apples. Delicious. They even used a pool noodle to make sure they followed those social distancing guidelines.
Curtis is looking pretty sharp, although, Chris, you said earlier, the gentleman's got to learn not to show up his date.
You don't want to steal the spotlight from your lady.
Hard not to do that with a bow tie.
This is about her. This is her prom. You know, I like that he did that for her, and cute little kid and all of that. You know, make sure you're giving her a moment to shine and her big day.
I love his confidence.
Yeah, I know she wanted to see me, so I, wanted to throw a little prom for her.
I tend to agree with him. Looking sharp.
Said only like a 7-year-old can say
It's
it.
Cute,
right?
I know.
All right, well, this is just in. We set a new record temperature here in Madison yesterday. Our low temperature in the morning was 71 degrees. That breaks the old record that has been standing for 145 years. Since 1875, the old record was 70. So if you're thinking it is a little warm and humid for this time of the year, you are right. It's never been that warm overnight. Our flash flood watch is still in effect for southwestern Wisconsin. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. We're feeling that in the form of humidity and also seeing it in the form of rain this morning. It's raining here in Madison and most places to the north and west. A slow-moving cold front is going to keep our chances for rain in the forecast through most of the day today. Winds, though, will be shifting around. As that front moves through the area, we'll see our winds shift to the northwest, and then some drier air is going to finally move back in. It should feel more pleasant starting tomorrow. But today, we're still dealing with humidity. It's not going to be as warm as it was yesterday. Temperatures will hold right around 70 through the afternoon. Again, those rain chances continuing, but coming to an end tonight. The weekend forecast, the weekend's right around the corner. I'll have all the details in just a few minutes.
All right, Hattie, thank you. As we do every morning at this time, we want to take a moment to thank our first responders. And here's our pick today. Today we're thanking Morgan Dobbs. She's a licensed practical nurse at an area nursing home. Morgan, thank you for all that you're doing to keep us safe.
6:47 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, we have some breaking news in China this morning, why some say a new law puts some freedoms in jeopardy.
But first, it is May 28th, and we want to say happy birthday to Barrett, Austin, and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning.
Download the Channel 3000 app today.
Let the design team at Waunakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
We're back.
We got our to-go food.
Oh, good. What a treat after a long week and no cleanup.
When you can't dine in, then get it to go and support our restaurants during Madison Magazine's Restaurant Week to Go. 2 weeks of fabulous to-go menus you'll love. Visit MadisonMagazine.com for details and menus. Restaurant Week to Go, presented by Kesnick's. Food service design, equipment, and supplies.
I guess there is still cleanup to do.
Looking for a TV and internet provider? We know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Garden mats eliminate 90% of the time spent working in the garden and increase a garden's productivity by 10 to 20%. Garden mats let air and water through, but block sunlight. The pre-measured holes make planting a breeze. We help people grow 100% organic vegetables, weed-free. Garden mats give us our summers back to do the things we love. Go to gardenmats.com.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Nuns, kitchen, bath, and flooring.
6:51, it is time for the morning sprint.
We start with breaking news. Minneapolis police are investigating a shooting death after a body was found near active protests. A police spokesperson says officers responded to the Lake Street neighborhood. That's where a lot of the looting and several fires were set. Police say they're looking into whether the homicide is related to a report of a pawn shop owner shooting a looter. We do know a suspect is in custody. Now, this was the second night in a row of violent protests in Minneapolis. You're taking a live look from our affiliate on the ground right now. Just look at some of that damage behind that reporter, now visible in the daylight. Several buildings were set on fire, broken into, and damaged in these demonstrations. Folks around the country are expressing their anger over the death of George Floyd. A viral video showed an officer kneeling on his neck for several minutes during an attempted arrest. In that video, he could be heard screaming, "I can't breathe." He died shortly after.
Minnesota's governor tweeted overnight asking everyone to leave the area since the situation had become extremely dangerous. He's called for a full and fair investigation into Floyd's death and has asked protesters to demonstrate peacefully. At the governor's request, the National Guard will be sent to help manage the aftermath of those overnight protests.
The University of Minnesota will cut ties with the Minneapolis Police Department now. The university's president says they won't make any contracts with the department anymore for additional officer support at large events like football games, concerts, and other ceremonies. They'll also no longer use the department for any specialized services like canine explosive detection units. They'll only work with MPD for investigations that directly enhance the safety of at-risk students, faculty, and staff.
And we just got to do better.
The video of the officer kneeling on Floyd's neck is resonating with local leaders in Dane County as well. The president of the Boys and Girls Club posted on Facebook asking every local police chief to publicly condemn the officer's actions. They've agreed to his request. Local agencies will now host a public town hall on the Madison 365 Facebook page that starts at 10:30 this morning.
Local breaking news overnight. Fitchburg police say they're looking for a shooter who shot at an occupied parked car several times. This happened just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Anton Drive off of Verona Road. Police say a car with at least one person in it was parked in an apartment complex's parking lot when it happened. While the targeted car drove away, it hit several other parked cars in that lot. Police say no arrests have been made, but there's no threat to the public. A Fitchburg resident could face charges from the Dane County District Attorney's Office after police found hazardous materials in their apartment. Police say the materials found in a unit on Chalet Gardens Road were potentially explosive, but there weren't any signs that the resident planned to use them to cause harm. Fitchburg police went to the complex off of Verona Road late Tuesday for a welfare check. That scene was then cleared 9 hours later. The resident has been taken to the hospital for a mental health evaluation and treatment.
We're hoping for better news this morning after seeing Dane County's largest single-day increase in coronavirus cases since March. We've seen 25 new cases in the past day. Despite those numbers, the metrics for reopening, you're taking a look at them right now, they haven't changed. These need to stay how they are or improve in order for Dane County to move on to phase 2. Statewide, there are now more than 16,000 cases. 37% of them are still active.
Leah, some better news this morning. Local bakery owner Michelle Clausen is expected to donate her 10,000th morning bun to local first responders later today. And while that's a major milestone, there are many ways you can give back right now. Second Harvest is looking for volunteers to pack care boxes for hungry families. You can still donate to Kessenek's Save Our Staff Fund, which raises money for out-of-work or underemployed restaurant workers. And perhaps the easiest, you can write a simple thank you note to the doctors, nurses, and hospital workers on the front lines of this crisis. I put hospital mailing addresses and links to all of these volunteer opportunities up on our website, channel3000.com.
Christina, thank you. Breaking overseas, China's national parliament is approving a controversial national security law for Hong Kong. The new legislation bans secession, subversion of state power, terrorism, and foreign intervention. It also allows mainland China's state security agencies to work in the city. It passed nearly unanimously. Critics say the move threatens political freedoms and civil liberties in the semi-autonomous territory. Just about 6:56 on this Thursday. A quick look at traffic. No crashes to report. Seeing some heavy delays popping up along East Washington Avenue. If you're coming in from the interstate, take you around 4 minutes to John Nolan Drive. John Nolan Drive looking good this morning. That's your first warn traffic.
And your first warn weather showing you some pretty heavy rain right now. We're 94 splits from I-39 on the east side of Madison. Taking a look at the rest of southern Wisconsin, we still have quite a bit of rain off to our north and west. Some heavy rain is possible today. That has prompted a flash flood watch until 3 p.m. for southwestern Wisconsin. Temperatures will top in the low 70s, pretty close to where we are right now, so temps aren't going to move much. It'll stay pretty humid through the day, but better conditions headed our way tonight as those dew points drop into the 40s.
Thank you very much, Hattie, and thanks for joining us, folks. Have a good Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.